and welcome to Let's Talk Business. I'm Sneha Koshi. Let's get started. Markets reversed losses to end higher for the fifth session. Nifty ended above 19,700 and Sensex closed beyond 66,000 mark for the first time since August 1st. Realty and PSU banking sector led, whereas FMCG and pharmaceutical shares were under pressure. Hiral Dadia with a wrap of all the market action.
Markets picked up steam in the second half of the trading session, and actually Sensex as well as Nifty scaled the highest level in over a month. This is the fifth consecutive session where we're seeing these kind of gains, and Nifty has ended above those 19,700 levels. In fact, very close to the day's highest level. Sensex was up almost nearly 380 points, and it was interesting to see that Bank Nifty has outperformed the benchmark indices in trade today. You had Realty and the PSU banking sectors that were the top gainers, whereas FMCG and pharma sectors saw profit booking in today's session. Overall, in terms of broader markets, you had the mid-cap index, which saw gains of 0.8%, whereas the small-cap index rose around 0.4%. In terms of the market breadth, which was nearly 50-50 at the start of the trading session, which was then in favor of the bulls at the end of the day. Let's quickly look at the top gainers. An interesting one was a Coal India. Smart moves, the stock ended with gains of over 7%. And this is, I think, the highest up move we've seen in the last 4 to 5 years. So it's 2 moves on a Coal India. Moving on, L&T, IndusInd Bank, SBI Life, as well as SBI were the other stocks that were in focus as well. In fact, life insurance data has come in on the back of the LIC, which has dragged down the life insurers' August revenues, whereas SBI Life is at the top amongst the private peers as well. Apart from SBI Life, if you see in terms of the losers, you had Tata Consumer, Britannia, Sun Pharma, M&M, as well as Hindalco. Shipping companies were trading pretty mixed, so smart moves did come in on a few of the names as well. Let's quickly look at the newsmakers. Responsive Industries. On the back of an order win from the railways, the stock jumped in trade. Power Mech on the back of an order win was in focus. Force Motors announced its production numbers, which saw smart moves. United Breweries hit a 8-month high. Hitachi on the back of an order win was up in trade. Nazara Technologies will be issuing some shares to SBI Mutual Fund on the back of it. Some moves were seen on that one. Jefferies has maintained a buy rating on Indian hotels, so that stock was in focus. Strides Pharma was another one. RHI Magnesita surged in trade, and this is after the CCI has okayed Drone Capital stake buy. United Breweries was up in trade on the appointment of the new MD and CEO. In terms of bulk deals, JNK Bank, IDFC First Bank, Castrol India, Bharat Electronics, as well as PFC. These were a few of the names that did see smart moves on the back of the bulk deals that happens. Overall, you're seeing mixed, wherein we are seeing stock-specific action, but markets are slowly, steadily inching higher to scale newer highs, and we're not too far away from the record high levels that Nifty has achieved so far as well. So it's going to, in September overall, is going to be an interesting month to watch out for. Back to you.
And sugar stocks rally as prices hit a 6-year high. Praj Industries' Shishir Joshipura says India is showing the way for transition fuels. What is the biofuel production output amid the rising sugar prices? Is India on a higher growth path compared to other countries?
What we are witnessing, as I mentioned to you, that the energy transition is a global phenomenon. It is not restricted to India alone. Probably we are contributing to India's economic growth because we are based here and we are selling those segments outside India. So there are, I think, very clear opportunities in that space globally, and we have a unique position that we've built for ourselves for all, as I say, all the hard work that we've put in, all the bricks, that foundation stones that we have put together for over the last 4 decades or so. So what is helping us now is what we have built over the past, but it's now clearly allowing us to leverage in a very unique way for this whole energy transition phenomena. So you are correct. India, again, I will come back, and as we see, we have seen a big wave coming through on the ethanol side when the government gave this path-breaking EVP20 program. We are now also looking at, I would say, very similar kind of a shift taking place as we start to add CBG to our energy portfolio. And you've seen in the past few weeks, there have been announcements from some very significant large corporates about they're paying attention to it and adding that to their portfolio. And obviously we believe that we'll have a significant role to play there, given our work that we have done on the technology side. So India,
I was going to ask you.
So India continues to transit and add to its pie in terms of cleaner fuels. I think that's a great thing to happen. In many ways, we are actually showing world the way to do it. I know many times, many of these movements happen in the developed world, but I believe that this is one area where a developing country is showing the path of how it can be done.
And is cash withdrawal using UPI really new? Well, the technology has been in existence for past 4 years, but will be available across India in next 8 to 9 months, according to NCR's Arindam Basu. Listen to him explain how you can use UPI to withdraw cash.
Any ATM across any bank, the consumer can go withdraw the cash using a simple UPI method. Enter the amount, the dynamic QR comes, and use any of the Google Pay, Phone Pay, Beam, and authorize the transaction, and the cash comes out. So instead of 43 seconds on an average, which an ATM takes it's going to be around 9 to 11 seconds. So the queue is going to reduce, much more convenience, and on top of it, it's a lighter application at the ATM. The most important part, the banks doesn't need to change any of their current ATM application or the hardware. It's a purely software and technology driven. So all ATM, as we move forward in another 6 to 8 months, going to get into this option of having an UPI cash withdrawal.
And fintech company Paymates is IPO bound. Yes, the company is in the pre-IPO fundraise mode. This comes after tech companies faced a setback post the first cycle of IPOs. But is the time right to debut on Dalal Street now? Here's what Paymates Ajay Adiseshanan had to say.
We are in a pre-IPO fundraise mode right now, and as you know, it's in public domain. We have IPO aspirations. So we are in the midst of closing that out over the next 30 to 60 days.
How far is it?
That's a great question. So it's work in progress is all I can say.
Okay. Lastly, I wanted to check with you. So this question of the IPO being work in progress, this is something that I've heard now from multiple people who sort of came to the market, said that we want to raise funds, but then they're keeping things on hold for at least the foreseeable few months. I wanted to ask you, is this the current market conditions that's probably not allowing that entry, or is there something else that's working out?
No, clearly, so every company has its own compulsions. And we all know that, after the first cycle of Indian companies, tech companies going IPO, there was a bit of a setback to that process. And generally markets were, not so embracing. I think that's changing now, and there is definitely opportunity for tech companies to go back to the public markets from an India perspective, and that's starting to happen as we speak. So I think there is, light at the end of the tunnel, and we believe that the conditions are starting to look favorable, and it's time to reconsider.
That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching.